A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. On the day of Pentecost, Peter stood with the 11 apostles and spoke in a loud and clear voice to the crowd. Friends, and everyone else living in Jerusalem, listen carefully to what I have to say. Now, listen to what I have to say about Jesus from Nazareth. God proved that he sent Jesus to you by having him work miracles, wonders, and signs. All of you know this. God had already planned and decided that Jesus would be handed over to you. So you took him and had evil men put him to death on a cross. But God set him free from death and raised him to life. Death could not hold him in its power. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
My soul is glad, even my from the first book of Peter, the Apostle. Beloved, you say that God is your Father, but God doesn't have favorites. God judges all people by what they do, so you must honor God while you live as strangers here on earth. You were rescued from the useless way of life you learned from your ancestors. But you know you were not rescued by such things as silver or gold that don't last forever. You were rescued by the precious blood of Christ, that spotless and innocent Lamb. Christ was chosen even before the world was created. But because of you, Christ did not come until these last days. And when Christ did come, it was to lead you to have faith in God, who raised Christ from the dead and honored Christ in a glorious way. This is why you have put your faith and hope in God. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Hallelujah. 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 Give him the glory. Give him the honor. He is risen. Hallelujah. Greater is he that's within me than he that is in the world. Greater is he that's within me than he that is in the world. Hallelujah. 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 Give him the glory. Give him the honor. He is risen. Hallelujah. Greater is he that's within me than he that is in the world. Greater is he that's within me than he that is in the world.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
That very day, the first day of the week, two of Jesus' disciples were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus. And they were conversing about all the things that had occurred. And it happened that while they were conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near and walked with them. But their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing as you walk along?" They stopped, looking downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, said to him in reply, Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place there in these days? And he replied to them, "What sort of things?" They said to him, "The things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word, before God and all the people. How our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. And besides all this, it is now the third day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of those with us went to the tomb and found things just as the women had described. But him they did not see. And he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are, how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" Then beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them what referred to him in all the scriptures. As they approached the village to which they were going, he gave the impression that he was going on farther. But they urged him, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening and the day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. And it happened that while he was with them at table, he took bread, said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that, their eyes were opened, and they recognized him. But he vanished from their sight. Then they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he spoke to us on the way and opened the scriptures to us?" So they set out at once and returned to Jerusalem, where they found gathered together the 11 and those with them who were saying, "The Lord has truly been raised and has appeared to Simon." Then the two recounted what had taken place on the way and how he was made known to them and the breaking of the bread. My sisters and brothers, the gospel, the good news of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.